Well, hello, children. Did you come for another story today? Great. Well, let's get ready here. Grandma should get her glasses on so she can see what she's reading, okay? Okay. Oh, here's the book that we have picked out today. And I have some of my grandchildren here. This one's called Otis and the Puppy. And it's written by a fellow called Lauren Long. Otis and the Puppy. It was springtime on the farm, where the friendly little tractor, see the friendly tractor, named Otis, lived. The flowers bloomed, the trees were filled with leaves, and the farm buzzed with the joy of a new season. Do you remember what season I said it was? It's springtime. There were fields to plow and crops to plant, and Otis was right in the middle of it all. He was working hard, and the noise that he makes when he's working hard is put, puff, puffety chuff, put, puff, puffety chuff. When the workday was over, Otis and the little calf and all the other farm friends loved to play hide and seek. I bet that's a game that you like to play. Otis loved to be the one to be it so that he could count. He would count 1 putt, 2 puff, 3 putty, 4 chuff, 5 putt, 6 puff, 7 putty, 8 chuff. And he would count until he got to 10. When he reached 10, the game was on. It was time to go find his friends. He motored here, looking for his friends. He motored here and there. Look where he found them. He found the calf hiding in a deep thicket of wild flowers. Yellow and white wild flowers. Then he found the ducks. Look at the ducks. Can you see where the ducks were hiding? They were hiding in the mud pond with their feet and their tails up. Next he found the bull. The bull was hiding in the haystack. The bull thought that Otis couldn't see him, but his tail and his back of him was sticking out of the haystack. And there was a little bird chirping. That gave it away as well. One evening, the farmer gathered everyone around the barn, and he gently placed a burlap sack on the ground. The sack began to wobble and tumble and roll. It sat up and stretched to the sky, and then they heard a noise. Arf, arf, arf. What could be in there? Then out popped a little head. Do you want to see his head? There he is. It was a puppy. The puppy shook his ears and raised his head to the sky, and he yelped out another arf, arf, arf. Then he burst out of the sack and romped around, greeting everybody with wet kisses. See him licking and giving wet kisses to the calf? And then, as quickly as he had jumped out of the sack, then he wobbled over to Otis, and take a look at that. He leaned on the tire, he yawned, he slouched, and he plopped off to sleep. The farmer put an old doghouse in front of the barn, and he scooped up the sleepy puppy and put him in his new home. Otis and the little calf and all the other animals filed into the barn for a good night's sleep. Otis yawned and nestled into his stall. He was thrilled to have the little puppy on the farm, and he smiled and drifted off to sleep. Then, all of a sudden, he awoke to a pitiful little whimper. The whimper turned into a whine. And then the whine turned into a yelp. It was the puppy. It was dark as midnight outside. Otis took a deep breath. He clicked on his headlights and he putted out to the doghouse where he found the puppy trembling with fear. The puppy was afraid of the dark. With a chuff, Otis invited the puppy to come into the barn. There the puppy curled up and sat on his seat. The puppy would slink every night now. The puppy would slink from his doghouse and go into the barn, crawl up on the seat, curl up, and fall fast asleep. He felt safe there with Otis. After a day of working hard on the farm, the two friends would play hide and seek with each other. One day, while it was Otis's turn to be it, he sat counting to, do you remember what he counted to? He counted to 10 while the others hid. 1 putt, 2 puff, 3 puttity, 4 chuff, on and on till he got to 10. But the puppy had something else on his mind instead of hiding. Can you see it there? You'll see it very clear on the next page. Look at that. The puppy wasn't hiding, was he? He was interested in something else. He jumped and followed it around as it flew. It was a butterfly. The puppy rolled on his back and played with the butterfly. All the other animals were hiding, but not the puppy. Where was the puppy? He was running off. Otis and the animals searched high and low. Even the farmer came out to help, to search for the puppy. But no one could find him. They couldn't find him anywhere. And look at the puppy. It was getting dark. And the puppy did not know where he was. He could not find his way back to the farm. Finally, the farmer stopped the search. "It's getting dark," said the farmer. "Let's continue our search in the morning when it's light." By the time they reached the barn, it was already quite late. It was already quite late, and all the animals had to go to bed. Yet Otis, see him there? He couldn't sleep. He was worried about his friend the puppy. He looked out at the stars. The puppy would be out there in the dark all alone, and he would be scared. He putted over to the barn door. Like the puppy, Otis himself was a little bit afraid of the dark, but he knew what he had to do. Do you know what he has to do? Yep, you're right. He clicked on his headlights. See him? See him there? And he puffed and puffed out into the night looking for the puppy. Oh, the sky was dark. He couldn't see very well. In fact, just inside the forest, Otis stopped dead in his tracks. The sounds of the night crackled, thumped, and croaked all around him. His heart was pounding, and he shook like a leaf because he was afraid of the dark. Yes, every part of him wanted to turn and run back to the farm, but he knew that his friend needed him. So he closed his eyes. Yep, and I hear that sound. He began to count. You can count with me. 1 putt, 2 puff, 3 puttity, 4 chuff. 1 putt, 2 puff, 3 puttity, 4 chuff. By the time he got to 5, Otis felt a lot calmer. He was getting calm. The counting was helping him relax. And when he hit 10, when he got to 10, The game was on. He wasn't afraid anymore. He was eager to find his friend. He peeled out and motored here and he motored there, and he swerved and he darted and he skidded and he flashed his lights everywhere in the dark night. He circled and he crisscrossed across the forest, making sure to check every possible place that a puppy might hide. And guess where we're going to find him? Take a look at that. Can you see that page? See the log? Finally, his light shined across an old hollow log with a little spotted tail poking out one end. The puppy was whimpering softly, too scared to come out. But when he heard Otis, he squealed with joy. Arr, 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 arr. He wriggled and wagged and wiggled right out of that log. He squealed and cried, and he covered Otis's face with kisses. He was very happy to see his friend. Then the two friends began to make their way home. They stood tall together as they passed through the dark forest. And somehow the night sounds no longer felt quite as frightening to them. Look at them standing tall. And if you look on the next page, you can see some animals that were staring at them. Otis and the puppy were bravely going through the forest. They weren't even afraid of the dark. On the farm, a warm, safe bed awaited them, and before long, a new day would arrive, full of bright sunshine and work and play, and they could play hide and seek again at the end of the day. The end. Now, if you like this story, why don't you leave a like on the website? You can click a like and you can subscribe for more stories. Comment to tell me what you liked about this particular story, and let me know if there are any other stories that you would really like to hear. I will be putting a story on each week, so in the future you can click on the information card in the top right corner, and then you could watch another story. You could watch two at once if you like, okay? Next time, we will probably have the counting story that I promised you last time. But today I decided to read about Otis so that you could see how brave he was to go find his friend in the dark. Sometimes things we're afraid of, we really don't need to be afraid of. We need to count and calm ourselves down and realize that there's ways to overcome our fears. So next time we'll have a counting book. What in the world? Numbers that we can find in nature. Thank you for coming today, and remember to leave a like, subscribe so that you can hear more stories. And I'm just so happy that you came today to sit down and relax and listen to a story. Thank you. See you next week.